Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. Yeah, it's lit in the Chop Shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based in debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30. Let's do a first take on Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Carter Ray and Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, he hit me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the Chop Shop, cause they cutting up. It's Retro coming to you live to the Chop Shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the Chop Shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the Chop Shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop.
Welcome back. No, welcome to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks and Chris Walker in the building. We have a great show ahead of us today. Jimmy, I want to say, before we get into sports, I want to say congratulations to Tyler Perry on becoming the only black man to own a major movie studio in the US of A. They had a grand opening this weekend down in Atlanta. I'll tell y'all a little bit during the week what was going on. Bill Clinton was there. Everybody was there except Jimmy, Chris, and I, because we had something to do this weekend. But Jimmy, a great thing. Jimmy, I found out you can put Paramount, Universal, and another studio all on this property and still have 60 acres left. So I just want to have a shout out to Tyler Perry. But guess what, Jimmy? I got something for you, Jimmy, and I'm going to let you go. Dak Prescott is losing money faster than Lehman Brothers in 2008. So what you got to go? What you got to do? Jimmy, what's going on? Chris, what's up? Jimmy, what's going on? Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
Oh, man. It's so much this past weekend. Of course, we were over at Yates High School for the Super 16 extravaganza, and extravagant indeed that event was. Can't say enough about the turnout was, everybody, the players came, the energy level was intense, proved by the fact that we had 3 players that had to be transported to the emergency room.
Oh, wow.
And all 3 are healthy and at home, and it was okay. Nobody was kept overnight. The last one was yesterday evening when a young man slid into the bleachers and suffered a long, deep laceration to his lower leg.
Oh.
This young man, he was in good spirits, and I like everything from the trainer.
Yes.
Of course, Robert Horry Sports Medicine and Rehab, and exclusively Michael Smith was on premises all weekend. He's one of the administrators with the medical group, and they provided the training staff. The young lady, man, she was marvelous.
Unbelievable.
are marvelous because see, hospitality it's important, and a lot of times when people are frustrated because my thing is you pay for trainers, you pay for officers, and it's like firemen. You never know when you're going to have five emergencies in a row. Right. So people don't like to work. I noticed that they'll get positions, and then when they're called upon, it's like, oh damn, I gotta go do something. And I'm like, okay, well you're a police officer, you're supposed to go do this. You're a trainer, you're expected to be able to tape ankles. You're expected to be able to go and hit the court. She was not only there, but man, this lady, I mean, I think her name is Raina, and hey Pam Mouton, I see you on the Facebook feed and everybody else. But man, this young man, understand something. It was so bad. It was believed to be so bad. But what she did was she kept the young man turned over face down on the floor. If she would have rolled him over, then the people in the bleachers would have saw just how bad it possibly was, because the gash was deep all the way. You can actually see layers to the muscle. You can actually see, and so she explained to me afterwards that as a trained professional, you don't let the crowd see it because they're going to go and start going panicking and like, oh my God, and start screaming at the sight of all the blood. She kept him face down, didn't let the young man see it till she bandaged him up, put gauges in it, and the paramedics arrived to transport him over. And another thing I can applaud Michael Smith for another thing. You know how it is with our people, guys, in urban situations. An ambulance come, especially to 3rd Ward, Texas, which is located in the shadows of downtown, predominantly urban community, they're trying to gentrify it as we speak, where they are. Well, if most of the time, if an ambulance come pick up a minority, you know what hospital they're going to probably take them to? Bentar. Yeah. They're probably taking them to Bentar. Not in this situation. Nobody that went to the emergency room from the Super 16, because thanks in part to the Robert Horry Sports Medicine and Rehab, they all went to St. Joseph's Medical Center downtown.
And Jimmy, I'm glad you said that, Chris. I was right there when Michael called a doctor and told the doctor said, there's no waiting. When this guy get there, get him straight into the emergency, get him immediate care. He showed me the text. I said, wow. It's just good having the Robert Horry Sports Medicine associated and rehab associated with your event, because Jimmy, I'm telling you, he was on the phone with the doctor. I said, wow. No waiting for this young man. Get him right back into the emergency room as soon as possible to St. Joseph. Unbelievable.
Well, I mean, and speaking of the Super 16, there was a lot of matchups, a lot of great team. Of course, Beaumont United, props to them for winning first place. And it's only fitting. And we're going to, talk to you a little bit and tell you some of the things that happened. Hannah was there every day, saw a lot of good things, a lot of action. He was engaged. But about Beaumont United, you guys remember only 2 weeks ago, the Chop Shop traveled down to Beaumont on a Monday, 2 weeks ago from today. We traveled to Beaumont with an 18-wheeler of disaster relief supplies and provided to the students and the families in the Beaumont area. As the elementary school, Fair Price Elementary, was greatly affected. This school is yet to return to classes. That's how bad it was. There was only one other school in the entire Beaumont that was greatly affected and has not returned to classes. And that school is Beaumont United. These kids don't know when they're going back to school. They say it's supposed to be October the 14th, but that's a Monday, a week from today. But talking to the coaches last night, that's like 50-50. So my thing is, think about everything these young men and their families and stuff went through, possibly. If not them directly, but a neighbor or relative was affected by the floods. We're talking about 15, in some cases, 15 feet of water was down in Beaumont in some parts. I mean, people lost everything. They came and had the resolve to go and march through a 6-0 record and win this thing. I mean, and it was great talking to the young men. I applaud them. Like I said, this was a movie script. Winning this. It's not, I mean, it may not mean much to some other people, but understand what's going on. to get some type of joy in your hearts to travel back and down that highway. They didn't come to Houston and stay in hotels between games. They had to travel back to Beaumont. And remind you, Interstate 10.
Whoa. Hold on.
It's impaired.
They left after they played. They didn't play on Friday, did it? They went back to Beaumont?
Yes, and then came back the next morning.
No.
So that's think about the travel. Think about all the stuff they're going through and sitting in traffic on I-10. Understand, a big barge hit Interstate 10 2 weeks ago during the floods, and I-10 has been. They said they announced over the weekend it's going to take 5 months for it to be open. Right now, it's one lane going each way. It was closed for about 5 days, but it's one lane during those stretch of about 4 miles, 5 miles, one lane. That's a lot of traffic. So once again, I love Beaumont United. Kason Harrison, he's a guard, about 6'1", that's committed to Lamar University in Beaumont. And I'm quite sure that the coaching staff was in their offices watching Baller TV and checking them out in action. He was masterful in guiding his team to the victory, 42-40 over Dickinson in the championship. Tremont Mark did not play in the championship game.
Why not?
He had cramps, and cramps is prevalent in this event because you have to play so many games, and they're not used to it. And each game you advance, it becomes more intense. And so he did not play at all in the championship game. But at the same time, I'm quite sure every other team in that event had somebody missing on Sunday afternoon, that was still standing.
Jimmy,
so now
I posted some on the screen a minute ago, and you were talking and you were giving a tribute to those young guys. But Stacy, I don't see it. I don't know if I can put it back on the screen. He said, "Please, will someone tell me what happened between L.J. Cryer versus Tremont Marks? It was a lot of talk about this game, and I couldn't get no info from the Houston media on my request yesterday. Could you explain that? You're part of the Houston media."
Well, one of the things while the event was going on, one thing I wasn't gripped to Twitter all day long, but they put a score sheet out. I think Stacy asked for a score sheet, and I mentioned to him for Doug to send it. Doug has all of the score sheets, Doug Jones, and I'm going to motion to him to send me a screenshot from that particular game. Well, L.J. Cryer, who's ranked number 1 in the recent senior poll in the Greater Houston, he's number 1, and Tremont Mark is rated number 2. So they matched up during the Super 16. The Dickinson team with Tremont Mark prevailed and got the victory. The Martin Ranch team, who's of course, like Dickinson, they didn't have Deuce Guidry, who's their starting point guard for the last 3 years. He's out after having minor surgery until next month. And a couple other players as well. Martin Ranch is without Big Eddie Lampkin, who's recovering from minor surgery and will return in time for the regular season. So like I said a while ago, every other team out there, guys, understand it was not at full throttle. Plus the high school coaches were not permitted to sit on the bench. There's only one team that had their coaches on the bench, and we'll talk about them later on. But L.J. Cryer came out, had 9 3-pointers. He had 44 points in the defeat. And it's one thing is Marcus Williams, he's going to Northern Colorado. Marcus Williams showed up and showed out. L.J. Cryer showed up and showed out. Tremont Mark showed up and showed out. The stars rose to the occasion. And somebody had to win the game, somebody had to lose the game. That wasn't important. People were in those stands to see a show, to see if somebody who's supposed to be ranked this is going to live up to the hype. And that's what I try to explain to a lot of people that are out there, the handlers and people that are of influence to these kids. That's all people want to see. You got a pit bull in the backyard, he growling, you got him chained up. People want you to let him go. And
Yeah.
and people,
And all three of those guys, you're right, let it go. All three
yeah,
of those
I mean,
guys let it go.
See, nobody was walking around there after the game saying, "Well, this guy lost. Tremont lost to him." No, that wasn't the issue. I mean, not Tremont. LJ lost. That wasn't it. The issue was LJ proved, and that was a platform to prove the number one ranking was up for grabs. Don't get it twisted. Number one was up for grabs. And you know, Tremont made it to the championship, and he didn't play in the championship game. But to me, that's a championship win for Tremont because he could have shut it down before in the semi. He could have shut it down and came out there.
It's unique that you paint that narrative because before the game happened, about a week ago, you came out voicefully and said he scored 42 points on that guy, and I said, well, it was in a loss. I said, show me the score sheet. You kind of made a big deal of the 42 points. I would just say, okay, let's make a big deal about these 44 points. And LJ Cryer was absent, not only Eddie Lampkin, but one of his starting players who took Eddie Lampkin's place. He was one of the kids that went to the hospital. Michael Smith and them had to take to the emergency room. So they were shorthanded. So if we want to talk about other people being shorthanded, yes, these guys were shorthanded too. And I love the poetic justice because I'll never forget you and somebody on this Facebook feed last week. They kept it was 42, Hannah. It was 42 because I wasn't familiar with the 42. But I just said when a guy from Dallas have to tweet out, and maybe because you said I think somebody told me that Houston got more media people, supposedly quote unquote amateur media people than anybody. And he said I called him and he said nobody sent me no information. It's not out there. So
it was on social media.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sorry, he didn't pick it up. He didn't pick it up. That's all.
It was on social media, and that's the thing. I mean, it's fitting that you said. And ironically, a year ago in November, the two young men met up in the season opener: Dickinson versus Martin Ranch. Martin Ranch got the victory. Right, it was a competitive game all the way through, but Tremont Marks scored 42 points in the defeat. Well, ironically, on this weekend, on yesterday at the Super 16, they played. Dickinson gets the victory, but LJ Cryer scores 44 points in the defeat.
Yeah.
So now,
it was very ironic.
Guess what? They meet again, guys.
Yes, soon.
In the Hoops Giving Classic, Martin Ranch is playing Dickinson at 6 p.m. at Houston Christian High School on Wednesday, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. That's November the 27th. These two teams would meet again and possibly could meet again to go to state in the postseason. But they will meet again in the regular season for the last time. In the last time their high school.
Chris Walkers, you hadn't been saying much. When the last time you seen a high school player hit 9 threes in a game?
It's been a long time. I'm sure. That's a lot of threes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of threes.
So you I'm telling you, that was one of the, I would have to say, that was one of the best high school games that me personally seen in recent history. That the guys, I mean, it seemed like they were answering each other. Jimmy, I don't know. You were sitting over there. I saw you over in the corner. It's like if one of them dudes score a basket, LJ said, Now, hold up. If somebody else on their team scored a basket, LJ didn't come back and answer.
I'm looking at, you guys look on the Chop Shop feed on your sales. And I just supplied you with the score sheets and how you may be able to post it up for Stacy and the viewers can see both score sheets. Doug Jones has sent this to us. And this is the official score sheet. So I was just going off what people were saying on the media. The official score sheet doesn't have 44.
Mm-hmm.
What does it have? What does it say? What does it say, Adam?
45.
It says 45.
It don't matter. 44, 45. It don't matter.
No, it does matter. It does matter. Because, it does.
You know what I'm mad about? He missed 3 layups that he could have had. He's supposed to have a 50-piece. So that, 45, 40, it don't make no difference.
But then let's get Marcus Williams had 27 points for Dickinson. Okay. Tremont Mark had 24 points for Dickinson. They both combined for 51. Like I said, every hold up that was as far as the premier names on the floor. And that's no slight to a lot of the other guys and teammates who bust their butts and do their work. No. But understand something. No. And put it like this. If you're going to a concert, which this past weekend, Frankie Beverly and Mays was in concert, I promise you, if they were to tell all ticket holders that Frankie Beverly wasn't going to be there, it's going to be Mays, I promise you, they would have had half the crowd probably would have stayed at home. So this is what it is. You know, in this situation, it was a great showdown, and it was spirited, but it didn't, you know, and guys kept it in between the lines. Really, a little smack talking here and now, but it was, you know, a little push, a little shove, and people want to see that.
I like that.
So now
Jimmy, what did you say when LJ won against Tremont? What you say LJ had? I thought LJ had 34 in that game.
In the Campbell Center last year?
Yeah, the time he won. You know when he won?
Last year, yeah. Tremont had 42, LJ had 34.
Okay, that ain't bad. Yeah.
You know, and that's what all we want to see. And like I said, a lot of people think that if you don't win the game, then people are going to bash you.
Right.
You don't show up and expectations after accepting and breaking the number of being people are knowing that the two best players in the league. It's not even close anymore right now. It's not. And so that's the thing. I mean, for more of the results, you guys can go over to RCS Sports and have speak on this verb and back Mike.
Yeah.
You can go into RCS Sports and you can check out the complete results. We have line scores from each day are posted there. And I think on today, Doug is going to post the rest of them from Sunday. But Fridays, every game, every double-digit score is posted on the front of RCS Sports. It doesn't cost you a penny to go and read that. It's free information. It's not clickbait to go and subscribe. If you subscribe to RCS Sports, then great. You're going to get your money's worth. It's only $2.50 a month to go into the VIP news. However, but if you go to the front page, there's a lot of info there. RCSsports.com. Now, on Friday night, there was a showdown between Dickinson and Yates. We got to see Ruben Jones, right? And company go up against the same Dickinson team. And guess what happened on that night?
What?
That was Jack Yates. Jack Yates took the victory. And you know, in a hard-fought game that punctuated the action on Friday evening. Great, like I say, man, it was just a great weekend of basketball at the Super 16. And it told us a lot, but we'll talk a lot more of that coming up. And of course, but main thing, we got a super topic that we want to get you guys with. And how do you want to cue stuff up? We got Chris Walker. We want to
which one?
A whole lot of stuff for Chris to chime in on. And we'll save the Katie. We're going to talk about the Katie and the football incident over that weekend. We'll save that because Chris might have abbreviated day with us today, and he's not too keen with the stuff going on with the Katy football player. Unless you want to engage in it, Chris, then we can load and move it to the front of the lineup. But right now, over on Friday, things always tend to happen when the Chop Shop is not on the air. And of course, this past weekend, Merrill Code in the NCAA corruption trials, he was sentenced to 3 months in the federal penitentiary after his conviction for his role in in what many are frowned upon with the corruption and the pay for play or pay to steal future NBA players scandal trial from last year. Remember, Murray was already sentenced to 6 months in another trial. He went to trial twice. This judge gave him a lenient sentence because earlier last week, Christian Dawkins received 1 year and a day.
But they run concurrently, though, Jimmy, right?
They run it concurrently. Yes, it could have run consecutive, and that's different between the sentences. Is consecutive is if you get a consecutive sentence, that means you would have to serve one and then start serving the other. Concurrent sentences are pretty normal because the judge can simply file a motion for it to be concurrent unless you totally piss off a lot of people in that courtroom or in the process. Christian Dawkins, let me explain to you about this 1 year and a day. Guys, 1 year and a day, that means if he gets in trouble in the joint, that day don't have to be the day after the year. It's not 1 year plus a day. It's 1 year and a day. That means that day can be any day. Not likely. I'm just telling you now. That's how it used to be. I don't know what I'm telling you. Seriously. When somebody gets sentenced 1 year and a day or 99 years and a day, that means you really piss people off. And we already know it came out that Christian Dawkins, he may have led people to believe early on that he was going to help the government out, and he didn't. He stood his ground, went to trial not once but twice. And so he has a 6 month sentence and a 1 year and a day sentence. Merrill Cole has a 6 months and a 3 months, which the 6 month will eat up the 3 month sentence. And he'll do that 6 months. And the judge spoke highly of Merrill Cole during the sentencing process, which is not rare, but for black folk, that's refreshing to see when you're talking about a white judge.
And it helps your dad being a judge also too now.
Yeah. And Merle's dad is a judge, a retired judge in South Carolina, down in Greenville, and Merle is a former star at Clemson, and but Merle, this situation is finally over now. As it ended, guess what they have on the horizon now? And the media is kind of bubbling. I don't see it on the ticker of Sports Illustrated. On ESPN or nothing, but they have another probe where 20 individuals were arrested over the weekend.
Really? Right? Yes. 20
individuals, approximately 20, was arrested and charged with racketeering, right? Loan sharking, extortion, and among other charges. And what the crime includes, I'll read you guys this excerpt from the actual charge. It says, in this scheme, right? Wiretaps also captured the defendant's scheme to fix an NCAA college basketball game. To further the scheme, the defendant offered members of a college basketball team, not members, thousands of dollars to intentionally lose the game. We just had Brandon Johnson on just a week and a half ago, who made national news, got convicted in federal court for his role. Well, not convicted, pled guilty and accepted a guilty charge, and did his time after his role in point shaving with the University of San Diego. The school has not been named yet, but these individuals are based in the New York area. And it's only a matter of time before we all will see how this is going to transpire. This is the mafia that's involved in this. That most of these guys I can tell by these names, a lot of guys that are arrested had Italian type names. This is something that you guys are going to hear more about this in the days to come now. Chop normally on the front end of news like this. Remember, you can Google it up, and this is very interesting.
Chris, talk, because Jimmy, check your internet. That's the thing.
Chris do.
Yeah, your internet is not. But though, I just put up on the screen, Chris, the 20 defenders charge, what Jimmy was talking about. I just put it up.
Right.
Yeah. So, Jimmy, Chris, shoot it to Chris, Jimmy. Check on your internet, Jimmy, because you know you're kind of sounding a little funny every now and then. But what's the next topic?
Jimmy, are you there?
Yeah, I'm trying to fix
it. So I'll just respond to what's going on. I mean, it's just amazing that all this stuff is happening at one time with the pay-for play, with the SB 206 in California, all different states jumping on board, everyone commenting, and then all of a sudden this happens, you know. And then in regard to Merle Code getting 3 months and Christian Dawkins getting a year and a day, you know, my thing is justice being served? Yes, it is, because they did do something that they weren't supposed to do. But there are a lot of people who did not, in my opinion, have to have their day in court. And, you know, truth be told, I'm sure if some of those things, if some of those people had to come forth, there would be a lot of revelations out there that people do not want to come out in plain sight. So, you know, again, I don't think any of this is over by any stretch. The deal with Kansas is just really ramping up. They basically halted the investigation, not necessarily the investigations, but them having to report back to the NCAA what their individual findings are at their own universities. And it's going to be flat out interesting what happens. I'm just telling you right now, this stuff is not over by any stretch of the imagination.
Wow.
We're getting a little echo feed. You hear that echo out there?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's me or not.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, it is you, but I'm just trying to figure out. We got this new software we're working with today. We're just working some kinks out. That's why we're able to do it. And I'm just wondering, am I? If anybody let me know, am I cracking up? Let me know. Now Chris is choppy. Okay, let me know when I become choppy. It's gonna be a problem. But Chris, I want to talk about. They were talking about the Daryl Morey situation. Are you familiar with it? Are you familiar with it all?
Send out with Hong Kong fighting against China. Hong Kong was under British rule forever. But they were, you know, even myself, being a history buff, I didn't know, even when I went to Hong Kong a very long time ago, I didn't know Hong was separate from China. I know it's a part of China, but it's separate government. Functioning as democracy. Now that rule is over. I don't know the exact legislation, but now they're back as being a part of China. And China is governed very different than Hong Kong was. Hong Kong was like the USA of China over there. Americans live there, and now they're on a different. That came from China last year, a very different place. Daryl Morey saying what he said. You got to understand, the Rockets are the most popular team in China because of Yao Ming. So now they go there and they make a statement like that, and given what's going on with 45 in China and the trade embargoes and stuff, there's a lot of political implications. Right in the middle of, and until Fertitta has to come out and say, hold on, Daryl Morey does not speak for the Rockets. So if that was Robin Hatter, he'd probably be unemployed today. What do you think, Robert?
You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure because, I mean, I look at it different, and what is going on to people who don't understand? It's political unrest. Hong Kong, they trying to fight extradition. If you're a prisoner in Hong Kong,
right?
They try to extradite you to China, and people in China, they don't treat you that good as the people in Hong Kong do. So people trying to, I think, combat or fight that protest being shipped, their loved ones being shipped away. And all Daryl Morey said was, I stand with Hong Kong. So I understand. But
Not while you're talent, not while you're there. Not while you're there. If you want to make that,
they're in Tokyo.
I understand that, but you're still on that. I understand they're in Japan, but not while you're over there. Like do that from your home in Kingwood, Texas, or something. You know what I mean? Kingwood over there in like we do it over in Rosewood. You over in Tokyo, you know that you're a major part of the Rocket supporters coming from Yao Ming being a part of China. Still to this day. I mean, think about it. James Harden, Russell Westbrook. I mean, the Rockets are very popular over there, man. But the Rockets played the Shanghai Sharks, did they?
Yeah, they played
them.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So I mean, so again, it's a lot of support. But hey, man, it's Tillman Fertitta had to come out and say that because the NBA, the NBA, they want that international presence. And China is a big piece of it because the Chinese basketball league is huge over there in China, and basketball has grown crazy. You know, I want to say it's their number one sport, especially they've adopted from the U.S.
Okay, keep talking, Chris.
They also let your boy go over there and get about 50, and then come back over here to reality and realize he was still a bum. Your boy from BYU, what's his name?
Well, BYU. Who?
The Jimmy Fredette.
Oh man, leave Jimmy Fredette alone.
Over there and go to work on those Chinese kids and come back over here and they're like, I don't think so, player. Stephon Marbury migrated over there and won championships. Hey man, come on, man. It ain't nothing like the league, baby. Ain't nothing like the league.
Well, you know what is the unique thing about it? James Harden came out and he apologized. And I don't know what he was apologizing for, but he was apologizing for, because James Harden goes over there 2 or 3 times a year because Adidas is big over there. So should they, but now I heard from Jerome Solomon, he did print something that said, y'all can talk all that stuff y'all want to. Daryl Morey is not going anywhere. So that's that, Jimmy. I mean, and Chris, Jimmy, you back. I don't know if you wanted to comment on it. You can comment on it.
Well, I mean, guys, you understand this is big business in world, intrastate commerce at its finest. I mean, bottom line is China is valuable to the Houston Rockets. Not only relationship-wise in the Yao Ming situation, but it's yielded the owner millions upon millions of dollars in revenue and merchandising and whatnot. So to go and step on that embed, Tillman Fertitta, he exercised and showed the world who probably were wondering. He showed for the first time publicly. He showed them his inner Jerry Jones. He went and he let them know. He let them know quickly. Hey, look, that guy Morey don't speak for the Rockets. We are not a political platform or political organization. He don't speak for.
So what is he gonna do? I don't want to put this out there. So what is he gonna do when James Harden does it? Or what is he gonna do when Russell Westbrook does it?
Guess what? There's always a time, no matter how good we may perform. If you go and you push this against the establishment, and they will remind you, Chris, that you still ignorant. That's what it would do.
Still what?
Still ignorant. That's what it would. I mean, seriously. At time will come. Trust me. We all experience it, whether it's going into a restaurant and they telling us, we ain't dressed right and we think we are. Whether somebody ignoring us at the rental car desk. I mean, we got VIP and fast break, but certain times you got to still go up there and see them.
So there was an incident up in New Jersey where these guys are wearing wave caps. They were fashionably dressed and they would not serve them. Does that factor into that?
And I mean, often it's a time. Once again, people will remind you, and a lot of times it's not really directed at you. It's just dimming people the way people were raised, and you might be in the middle of their reign on that day, and that's just how it is. So with this stuff with the Rockets, guys, it's business. It's business. I promise you. Tillman Fertitta went and hugged Daryl Morey. He said to him, "Man, you about to mess up my money. You can slow down, player." And that's basically they all right. Now, if that would have been the head coach Who said that?
But Jimmy,
Oh my
but
God!
Jimmy, these people over there protesting, like Colin Kaepernick was protesting, and we seem to be on the side with Colin Kaepernick. So what's happening over there, you ain't even worried about. That's what you're saying, Chris. You don't care what's happening over. I guess that's what you're saying, Jimmy. You don't care what's happening over there.
I'm just saying, we got our own problems, bro.
Okay, I got you. I got you. I like
Right.
that.
But Jimmy, you sent something the other day about the lady in Dallas that shot the guy. Did y'all hear what happened? The dude that testified. I've never
Yes.
seen this before.
I've never seen this before.
I've never seen a witness testify, and it was on camera, and he got killed the next day.
Yeah,
Man, what is going on in Dallas?
that was unbelievable.
First of all, what is he doing on TV?
What you
That
mean?
caught me off guard.
What you mean? What was he doing on TV?
I mean, they had I guess, a local station that filmed the guy on TV testifying, and then the next day he turns up dead.
Wow.
Man,
Yeah, that's one of the guys
Dallas
that
right now.
testified in the Amber Geiger trial. I mean, that's unfortunate, man. And this, he was a key witness in her conviction for the
The
gun.
witness.
Yes.
And they shot him in the mouth, allegedly, from what I understand.
Yeah.
That means that's a statement. Once again,
Yeah.
try to shoot you in the mouth. They
Is
shoot you.
that a policeman doing that? What do you think?
I mean,
I promise you. I think it's. I mean, that's my first thing.
A policeman, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
You told on one of us. Okay. Let's do it again. Anybody
I mean,
else? Let's do it again.
I mean, I'm really disturbed at this. Here's why I'm disturbed. Amber Geiger, many people, if you're a fan of us, consider her the sacrificial lamb. It could have been a whole lot worse if that kid's brother personally doesn't get on that stand and make and during his testimony request to come and embrace the culprit, the murderer, because you can say that now she murdered somebody. She's convicted of murder, so she's a murderer. He embraced the murderer and sent a heartwarming vibe throughout the country, a message that many people should have picked up and say, you know what, we're just gonna cut this, cut it, cut our losses on this. The jury's not. Now, mind you, I saw one young lady, she sit there and gave a statement, one of the jurors, saying she didn't think 28 years was thought it was way too much. Well, yeah, that's after you hearing this guy, if his brother does do that. It's after the fact. If he don't say that, she might have got the 20 years. She might have got 18. She might have got the whole 28 the prosecution sought it for. But I want to tell you something, man. This and we're looking at some of the comments right now.
Jimmy,
Of course,
I got one on the screen right now if you can see it. Stacey Houston said, but be careful with that one. I guess the comment I made, he was shot earlier this year at a strip club. Some think that he was hit by the same person. Also, he is not shot. He was not shot in the mouth.
So he was not shot in the mouth. And according to Stacey Houston, who lives in Dallas, remember I said it earlier.
Yeah.
That's what I heard and when
I
I
saw
heard
that too.
I
saw that
to
too.
some of the rumors that were
So,
out.
how about this? The timing of it was ironic.
Oh,
That's all
very
I'm saying.
ironic. Because now, Jimmy, he can't. Somebody said on the feed he can't testify at the appeal if it's an appeal.
It just don't smell right. And my thing is nobody. See, I think a lot of people wanted Amber Geiger to get a lot more than 10 years. People that was in support of her, like I said, 10 years, she's going to do 5 years. And if it's an aggravated case in the state of Texas, this is not a federal case. It's a state case. This is the TDC. She's going to go to a TDC facility. Now, mind you, they probably would like to keep her in the county jail probably as long as they can, because that'll be convenient for a lot of her cohort, her fraternity will be there to take care of her hands-on. But she's going to do 5 years. I mean, I understand that's a lot, but based on what you were facing, you were facing 5 to 99. The prosecution recommended 28 years.
Yeah.
Normally when they recommend, it's an easy call. You take that and you accept that, or you argue, you go in the back and deliberate for a little while, a few hours, and you probably find a happy medium. 28 to 10, that's a big gap. So I'm saying is, so why would somebody, after she only got 10 years, 5 years to do, come and still do that? That means, man, it just goes to show you the state of our economy, and it may have knocked the fight out of so many people. A lot of people are afraid to fight now. Fight meaning fight for justice or fight for what they stand and believe in, because they're thinking this could happen to me. This is what, look at what, and they're going to link it. My thing is this, man, put it like this. If that was a police officer that was shot and killed, I promise you they would exercise all resources, every red light camera, every surveillance footage of cars coming and going from, and connect the dots each way for about 10-mile radius to find out it leads.
I got something for you, Jimmy. Stacey also said the attorney on the case was on K104 this AM and told the entire story. He was shot in his lower extremities, the young man was. I just wanted to add that to you because it came up a little bit later. I posted it on the Facebook feed already.
Yeah, so it's a sad situation, guys, coming out. I mean, it's really, really sad. And so, of course, if we learn some more details, trust me, more facts will come out of that case out of Dallas, man. Thanks, Stacey, for providing that info. Okay, also over the weekend, like I say, man, it seems like everything just waits to pop off over the weekend when the Chop Shop ain't on the air.
Listen, that's when you release the news that you don't want people to read. You release it over to Friday.
Good gracious. So guess what we all missed on the Chop Shop? But you know we're going to talk about this right now.
Which one?
That is March Madness in Lawrence, Kansas this past weekend.
Oh, my goodness.
And the University of Kansas had Snoop Doggy Dogg.
What did he do?
In concert. You know what? As a college coach, I love the way that you affectionately asked that question with a splash of naiveness. Chris Walker says, what did he do? Snoop Dogg performed and gave Houston's own Kelsey Bone was courtside. She was at the Midnight Madness in University of Kansas. So I spoke extensively with Kelsey's mother this past weekend and provided details, showed me the video from the floor. And I heard a lot of, put it like this, Snoop Dogg used no, you know, sometimes you sing in a song and you get to a certain word and you just don't say nothing, or, you know, you bleep it out yourself. Snoop Dogg gave the nightclub version of every song he sung. Every song he performed, it was the nightclub version.
No, he didn't.
And there were little kids that were there. Now, they saved it to the end of the night. However, there still were people, kids and minors that were there that had no idea. Now, the people from Kansas, they're talking about.
So Chris Brown performed in Dallas the last Saturday night, right? This past Saturday night. Do you think that Chris Brown used any type of filters on any song he sung? Right? Why is it that Snoop Dogg should use filters because he's doing that at a university? He's still in concert.
Yeah,
they don't tell artists to do that stuff when they come to the American Airlines Center. But what are they tripping off? Those college kids buy the stuff. What are they tripping off of?
I got something for you though, Jimmy. Let's set this up. Did you see the video of Bill Self before this happened? He had on his big gold chain with Adidas t-shirt on, walking through the record store and playing Snoop Dogg, the promo to it, Chris. I'm sitting there, seemed like to me, he was telling the NCAA, hey man, y'all can't touch me. Jimmy, you saw the video, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, and that was understand. And Bill Self defended that at the time. He defended it. And there was no problem at the time because it was saying that this was a tribute to Run DMC. That's why he did because Run DMC was Adidas. And are we spicing a little bit? Can you guys hear us fine?
Yeah, come on back. Come on.
Now that was Bill.
Bad timing.
That was Bill Self's defense. But in this situation, in the contract, they said they were going to have female acrobatic dancers. Chris, that was so the verbiage.
They were female, they were acrobatic, and they were dancers. Jimmy, they were female, they were acrobatic, and they were dancers.
But guys, here's my thing. I'll say it again. You're on a college campus, man. What happened was the reason why they're offended because Kansas has a lot of old fans, and they came because they would not go to a Snoop Dogg concert. We're talking about the same Snoop Dogg that does a show with Martha Stewart, by the way. That's Snoop Dogg, you know. And so my thing is, again, you get what you pay for. You should have brought Bruno Mars then. You should have brought Katy Perry. Snoop was probably high as a kite when he went in there.
Oh, yes.
Come on, man. You get what you pay for.
Chris, he had something lit while he was performing during
the Christmas. He always do that, Jim.
Well, now that's something where that's amazing.
But that's not what the people were outraged about. They were outraged about the female acrobatic dancers.
I don't know why.
They were clothed. You know, understand that they were clothed. See, here's the thing. Let's I mean, y'all want to go there? Let's just go there. Here's the thing that I got, and I could be way off. Trust me, guys, not the first time.
You usually are, but go ahead on.
Let me get a drink on now.
How come that a female, right, can go to the beach and put on a two-piece?
Okay.
It's appropriate. That's a family atmosphere.
Family
atmosphere at the beach. It's appropriate.
I like that.
Nobody's gonna say cover up. Nobody's gonna hide their kid's face. You gonna let your son can walk right next to that stranger and play and pick up a beach ball and throw it with her. She can be laying there with her legs wide open, her clothes. So a beach is off limits then. So this is what people do, and I'm not condoning the situation with Snoop Dogg in Kansas at all. Those ladies didn't have on. Trust me, we've all seen a whole lot of real less. They was like, it was right there threading the line. Now their actions on those poles, like I said, I've seen the videos from the floor. Yeah, it was over the edge. It was up below the belt. Combined with the language that Snoop Dogg was using during his songs. I've seen Cardi B at the rodeo, right? Cardi B is one of the more foul-mouthed females in hip-hop. But Cardi B had enough sense in regards to her money to let certain words not even come out, just go and just be quiet and keep singing on through and rapping on through the song. This is what I'm saying. Snoop didn't.
Jim.
Snoop is wrong for that. He's wrong for that. He's wrong.
No.
Oh, come on, Helen. You know what's there. Even though your intentions, man, this dude, first of all, it's not every day. People are going, who did Memphis have at their people are not even going to get Snoop Dogg.
Since you asked, I didn't bring it up. Memphis had Future, Lil Baby. Now, y'all know I don't know none of these kids. I know Future because of Sierra. Future, some guy named Lil Baby, Moneybagg Yo, the one who took your girlfriend, Meg Thee Stallion. That's the one. That's his girl now. She just bought him a $150,000 necklace. Young Dolph. I like Young Dolph. He's from Memphis. And Key Glock. Key Glock?
Man, who are all the people you mentioning, man?
Huh?
Tell Penny step his game up, man. What's all these guys you mentioning, man?
Well, guess what? He
had 18,000 in there, man.
What y'all have at Cal. Who do y'all have? Taylor Swift?
I don't work for Cal. I don't work for Cal.
No. When y'all were there, who did you have?
We don't
Taylor
do that.
Swift?
We don't do that.
Huh?
We don't do that. We don't do that.
Okay, so y'all didn't have a midnight mass, huh?
No. We didn't do that kind of stuff.
Hey, man,
They didn't call it daytime sadness.
Hey, Memphis had a flavor. Go on, Jimmy.
No, let's go to the boom room. Let's address some of these comments and y'all engaged in it. And Tyrone Irving say it was sexual. The beach isn't. Snoop did that on purpose to keep up with his image. Snoop is 50, acting like a 20-year-old. Charles Campbell, he says that this is about KU. Had he been at Memphis, we wouldn't have heard a peep.
Who said that?
Hey, ooh, wow. Ooh.
Who said that? Where his name at?
Charles Campbell says that had this been at Memphis, we wouldn't have heard a peep out of it.
You know what that's saying about Memphis?
Man, come on, Charles Campbell. Charles Campbell, I really don't know you, so I'm gonna leave you alone today. But I tell you what, I don't agree with that message.
You don't agree? I mean, well,
I don't agree with that.
I think understand a lot of people want Bill Self to be removed from Kansas. Now, there are a lot of people that want Bill Self to stay and want you to get off Bill Self and leave him alone. So, had it been would have been muted about the issue, had it been somewhere else? No, I don't think so. But had it have been, would it people have piled on to this degree? Maybe not. But because it's the season, you have to understand. If you're pro Nike, which Memphis is a Nike sponsored program, sure, you're going to push the narrative and want your guys who in your media people in your pocket to write and talk about this topic because Kansas Adidas. It puts them and Kansas is the most that's their flagship basketball program. It's University of Kansas.
But Jimmy, could it be the video? He got flack from the video he put out before that. He got flack on that. Y'all need to go and Google Bill Self a video a promo for his March Madness. I mean, whatever that madness is. Go look at that. He was walking around like he was a gangster, like he was Eminem or something. So he added that flavor. I'm really talking to Charles Campbell. Charles Campbell, he brought that smoke on himself because he did a promo that Snoop Dogg is coming. So guess what? Jimmy, what you always say? If you put your business on social media, Jimmy Hicks, didn't you tell me if you put your business out on social media, you gotta expect for somebody gonna comment on it? Did you tell me that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you put it out there.
Okay. My sentiments exact. All right.
And so but in this situation, more is going to come. Of course, Bill Self has issued an apology. Mm-hmm. The athletic director has apologized over the weekend as well of University of Kansas, saying that he testified to the fact that he was unaware of what female acrobatic dancers really were. And you know, I mean, it's kind of funny, but it's funny, but it's not funny. Because it's possible he probably really didn't know what female acrobatic dancers were, but here's what I'm saying. But being the fact that, put it like this, if this would have been Billy Ray Cyrus, and he said I got some female acrobatic dancers,
he would have got away with it.
He would have read the contract and not realizing that I would have believed you saying, I would have believed that you saying you didn't understand what that means, because Billy Ray Cyrus is not known for that type of edgy performances in his concerts. But Snoop Dogg says female acrobatic dancers in the contract, in the verbiage, then guess what? That's Snoop Dogg. You already was so that means to me you possibly was so worried about so many things that comes with Snoop Dogg. Mind the fact that understand, and he's not the only one. You're talking about gang related. He's a proponent for marijuana, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now
all rappers are, Jimmy. So they couldn't get nothing.
But Snoop Dogg is one he don't give a hoot.
Yeah.
About it. It's that's part of the play. Snoop Dogg also his language has never been muted pretty much anybody. So you took the edge. And that's what I was wondering. I said to myself, that was an attempt that blew up in Kansas' face. They attempted to go and get some street cred or reestablish their street cred in the heels of these NCAA themed trials from last year and earlier this year. That was a move that blew up. It's what happens when the white guy attempts to show you and make you think that he's just as black. And sometimes he's reminded, like we can be reminded you still Igor, they can be reminded you still white. And that's what it was. Because I'm quite sure, reminded by whom? Not by us. Reminded by his constituents, reminded by his employers, reminded by his board members. When they call him in, hey, let's have a talk. Who the hell is this Snoop Diggy Dog, do whatever? You know how they mess up our names on purpose when they talking amongst each other.
Jimmy, you mess up everybody's name on purpose.
I say they.
Oh, okay.
They. You know. And
so you just saying. So you said, because I'm hard. I'm torn between. You said Snoop should have known better. So the blame is actually on Bill Self, man. Bill Self. Bill Self. Because guess what? Bill Self got African Americans on his staff.
He's not immune to it. No, Bill Self gets blamed. Yes, okay. The athletic director and the compliance person and whoever had to go and look over the contract. Bill Self didn't do the contract. I can guarantee you that. And remember, they've already stated that they had to go back and forth a couple of times with the wording on the contract because they had put so many stipulations. That's why they decided to move Snoop Dogg to after his performance to after the basketball. That was like the end. That way, it would have gave people time to leave.
But no. They do that all the time, Jimmy. Future and them came after the basketball. Future and them came after everything. Last year they had Yo Gotti. They came after everything, Jim. Now I know, Jimmy, that's why you know what I just noticed? Why I missed your Super 16s last year? Because I was down there, and it runs. I guess it runs the same time almost every year. Cause I wanted to go, but I didn't feel like getting on the plane. But I mean, it's okay. I mean, can the NCAA do anything about it? That's my point.
Do it about his performance? No.
To Bill Self. Is it another black eye on Bill Self?
Well, Bill Self, his worries extend way past Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is just the latest thing that piles on his troubles. Right now, okay. That's not a fireball. That's not a violation of the NCAA with Snoop Dogg being there. No, okay. It's just an ethical situation, whereas it just was below the belt.
What we got coming up? What we got?
Tyrone said Snoop has done a lot of edited concerts as well as award shows he does all the time, and Snoop did this for publicity. I mean, it's very well possible, but then it's also very well possible that Snoop probably got to a point where he didn't give a shit. And we just got to think about it. Sometimes, don't try to protect it. It is what it is. Snoop is 50 years old, over 50 years old. I understand. So he knowing what he did, man. He know what he said. We kind of sit there. It's not like we had a 20-year-old guy on that hadn't done this before. He's been there, done this many a times. He know what he was doing. That's all I'm saying. That's not
concert. He got paid for it. He didn't get arrested. Go home. What's the next topic?
Handsomely.
What's the next topic?
Indeed. And so that's all. Let's go into our mailbag, guys. At the top of the hour, you got the concert. I mean, you got the commercial for them to give.
Oh yeah, I got something for y'all. Hold on.
One of the things about
guys.
Mark your calendars for Saturday, November the 16th at the M.O. Campbell Center located in Houston, Texas. That's the RCS Sports season opener. A day filled of high school boys basketball starting at 9:30 a.m. when Aldine Nimitz takes on Houston Christian, followed by Aldine Davis versus Sam Houston. Langham Creek will take on Summer Creek. Westbury Christian versus Port Arthur Memorial. How about Dickinson versus Beaumont United? That's a rematch of the Super 16 Extravaganza Championship game. Martin Ranch will take on Jack Yates at 5 p.m., followed by Hightower versus Cypress Creek. And the finale, Shadow Creek versus Episcopal at 8 p.m. That's the RCS Sports season opener, powered by Boost Mobile. A limited amount of $5 tickets are on sale now at all participating schools. That's the season opener on Saturday, November the 16th.
We're playing basketball. We love it, basketball. We're playing basketball. We love it, basketball.
Now you can come back.
Yeah, and welcome back, of course, to the Chop Shop, guys. What we just showed you, one of the many things, the many new features that we've adding to our digital platform. And just if you just seen, this is an opportunity for you, if you're a small business owner or a manager at your job, you can take advantage of the advertising opportunities on the Chop Shop. Your ad can be right there as well. And throughout the Chop Shop, you can even have a banner, a flyer that we can post during certain segments. You want to sponsor certain segments and trust me, very affordable advertising opportunities, which can help expand your business and expand your reach as well. Simply send us an email for more information to chopshophtx@gmail.com. chopshophtx@gmail.com. That's our email address. Send that to us. And
Jimmy, I got something else, Jimmy, because I wanted to look out, because I had such a great time this weekend watching Rossi out there. I wanted to share his video today.
What's up, basketball fans? Rossi Karen here with U Sports Group. I want to take the time to officially invite everyone out to the Battleground 2K19, December 18th, here at the Toyota Center. The Battleground 2K19 will be one of college basketball's premier events of the season, featuring Big 12 powerhouse Baylor Bears as they take on the UT Martin Skyhawks. The defending Mountain West champions and preseason top 25 ranked Utah State Aggies will go head-to-head with the South Florida Bulls. And the Pac-12's Oregon State Beavers will battle Conference USA favorites, the UTSA Roadrunners. The background for this triple header will be the Athletes Against Abuse initiative. Athletes Against Abuse is a children's rights campaign created to inspire athletes to use their talent, notoriety, and influence to bring awareness to child abuse in our country. The A3 initiative will utilize this basketball platform to blend sport and service. For more information on the Athletes Against Abuse initiative or to purchase your tickets to the Battleground 2K19, visit battleground2k.com. So, join me here at the Toyota Center, December 18th for the Battleground 2K19.
Look at that, Jimmy. Hey.
Absolutely.
Hey.
That email address is chopshophtx@gmail.com. That's chopshophtx@gmail.com. Shoot us an email and we can provide you guys with different advertising options for your business. You know, this is a great platform, and Chop Shop is going to do nothing but grow. And with your help and assistance and your support, you guys will be right there to help grow with us. So let's grow together, the Chop Shop. Make sure, speaking of which, won't you take out the time right now to share the show with your family and friends. If you don't mind, just simply hit the share button and share today's show. We're about to get into one topic that is very, very important. And that is over the weekend. Matter of fact, on Thursday evening, there was a local high school football game, which consisted of the number 1 rated team in the area, the Katy Tigers. After the game, the star quarterback from the Katy Tigers, it was a hard-fought game. They won by 5 points. However, it was they were well ahead by double digits, and then the Katy Tompkins is their opponent. And they fought back to fight within 5 points. 35-30 was the final score. However, after the game, the star quarterback from Katy took to social media to express his feelings towards Katy Tompkins and or possibly one of their players. And how you can cue up this video. Mind you, it does have some language.
I couldn't do it. You remember I told you I couldn't do that.
You couldn't get the video up?
No.
Okay. Well, in this video, the young man basically said the N-word. And in doing so, he immediately abrupted. A lot of thousands of people saw that before he deleted it. And I woke up the next morning on Friday morning, the word was circulating around the area about this young quarterback and what he had done. He extended an apology. How do you have a picture? You have a screenshot of that apology?
Yeah, got that.
I'm sorry. Let me back up. He released a statement shortly after, which they had a meeting with the president, with the principal, with his parents and the coaches, and this was a statement, basically an update on where he's accepted. He accepted the conditions of his punishment was going to be a 2-game suspension, and he's stripped of the captain status from off the team. And here's as you're watching us right now, you see the statement. Now, what I want you guys to do, and like I said, you guys got to help me with this, because this right here is a really, really important topic to me. Like I said, some of you guys don't have the strength to engage anymore in these type of conversations, because you might just be, you might just say, my arms are tired of fighting this stuff and swinging at this stuff. And I understand. I'm telling you, these are challenging times right now we live in. But if you, in this comment, I don't have to read it for you. You guys are looking at it right now. I want to point out what many people have noticed over the past 72 hours. Not one time in this comment does this young man say, I apologize for my actions. The word apologize, the word I'm sorry, the word for forgive me or forgiveness, none of those key words are anywhere in the statement. So it was billed at first as an apology. This ain't no damn apology. It's a statement. It's an update of what happened with your parents and the coach and what's going on, what you did. So after this came out, then that's when the lines were really drawn. Because some people saying 2 games. Wait a minute. And the Katy ISD administration, during their response, during their statement, they roll this up as some racially related comments. Since when is nigga a racially related comment or a racially charged statement? It is. That word has been adopted and that's the signature thing. That's one of the most provoking words in the world. Meaning that especially if you are white and saying it towards somebody that is.
Jimmy, Could you paraphrase? Because a lot of like Todd Holmes, even me, I haven't seen the video, and it was intentional. I did not want to see the video. I did it intentionally. I didn't. So all I heard, he said it, but I talked to some people. Would you tell what context? Tell me how he was talking.
Here's what I do.
Okay.
Here's what I do for you guys. I'm pulling up the video. And remember that it's only 14 seconds. It's quick.
Okay.
And this is him holding the camera to himself on the football field after the game. So let me go and start it from the beginning. Here we go.
You messed up, Jim. You don't have to turn it around. Just push it right. Okay.
Put your motherfucking ass in the hospital, nigga. What the fuck?
There we go.
Now I've heard it. Now, let me come at you. The way that kid said that right there, I see a lot of our kids talking like that, Jimmy, in a group. See, when I grew up, I wasn't as segregated, integrated as everybody else. I was, I hung with my friends, they hung with theirs. But I've seen young Asian kids, all kind of nationalities, they sit around and call each other his friends. I promise you, I don't know his friends, but I heard from a parent out there that knows them, and that's how they talk to each other. I'm not saying it's an excuse. Jimmy, that's how these kids, our young kids, are talking. Did you see how he said it? He said, yeah, Jimmy, he said it like I would say it. And like I said, I'm not making an excuse. I'm just, how do we curb or reduce the way it's said so freely at football games, basketball games? I'm walking by at the Chick-fil-A when they huddle up in the corner, all kind of nationalities. Y'all help me, since y'all, all you people that know it all and think y'all know it all. You talk to your kids and ask your kids and your grandkids, is this happening in y'all's sphere of influence? And I mean, I'm Jimmy, I'm glad that's the first time I heard it, I promise you. But I heard that these guys talk like that. The black guys call the white boys Nick, the Asian guys call the Asian dude. I mean, if they talk like that to each other, Jimmy, don't you think it's going to get caught on video at some point? That's my question to y'all. That's my question.
So you're saying, he purposely put it out there. He the one that put it out there. So obviously he was filming this for his Snapchat or social media.
But I'm thinking, so think about it. I mean, I talked to some young people the other day, just yesterday, because I wanted to hear what they. But guess what? The ones that in those suburban neighborhoods like that, man, y'all don't understand. These kids, they take on the personality of the. Jimmy, you even told me if I put a drunken in a room and I put a preacher in the room, one of them gonna come out converted. Ain't that what you told me? Either the drunk gonna be a preacher or the preacher gonna be a drunk. So you coming? We're in a society now that these kids, African American kids and white kids, spend a lot of time with each other. And I didn't have this conversation with my son I mean, I didn't, and I wish I had it, because he been in a lot more situations with other races than I have. And, you know, he actually lived in a basketball house with white and black people. I didn't have those advantages. When I went to college, I lived with all black guys. So I'm just trying to figure out. No excuse. Listen to me. I'm trying to get in the psyche of this young kid, because I heard from what I heard on Jimmy's video, he was if it was a white dude on the other team, he was talking to him too. If it was an Asian kid on the other team, he was talking to him too. So that's what I'm talking about. I haven't been able to look at no comments, but y'all, that's just how I feel about it. I might feel different, and guess what, y'all? It's okay. It's okay for me to feel different from you. It's okay, but we cannot. We got to grow up. Just because someone don't have the same opinion as you, you can't just always attack them. You know, so that's what I looked at. And Jimmy, I sent you a text this morning. They got a young African-American dude that did a testimony to this kid.
You can play that one?
Huh?
Play a little piece of that one.
Okay, I got that.
Play a little piece of that one. And meanwhile, we're gonna one of the quarterbacks from Katie's, one of his teammates from the football team that's an African American male, came to his defense and basically gave a 2-minute testimony in defense of the quarterback to try an attempt to prove he's not racist. See, here's the thing.
Here we go, Jimbo.
And before we let you guys see it first, we'll let you guys listen to it and watch it right now.
On social media concerning Bronson McClellan, I, for one, can testify that Bronson is not what you call racist, because people that know me know I have a messed up family situation, and I've been through hard times, and I lean on people's support, and I'm not the type of person to go out and ask for help. And Bronson, for one, saw me in need and pretty much helped me out. And he told his family about me, how I was struggling with my family situation. I didn't have food when I went to school, and how I didn't have any clothes, and I walked to school every morning because my family didn't really care about me. And Bronson went out of his way to drive me every morning, woke up early just to take me to school with him. And his family has blessed me in so many ways, giving me food and clothes and making me breakfast. Mr. McClellan made me breakfast in the morning and actually made me feel welcome and feel a sense of love that I never felt for my family. And I can testify that the McClellans are pretty much a family to me. And Bronson's not a racist guy. I'm a black male speaking out, and I don't do race. I don't like.
That's enough, Jimmy. That's enough. That get the gist of it. I mean,
once again, a lot of people out there, when you're swinging, sometimes your arms get tired, right? And a lot of people don't feel like swinging no more. Not necessarily fighting, but swinging at this type of topic. I don't know the young man. I don't know neither one of the young men. I've seen the quarterback and his teammate play indirectly and live and in person a couple of times over the past 2 seasons. We'll go to the timeline, to the Boom Boom Room, and address some of your comments, because I have my thoughts.
Okay.
I want to give a disclaimer. I don't know the person.
Okay.
But Michelle says he may not be racist, but the use of the word has consequences. How they behave now is preparing them for adulthood. Try doing that shit in a professional environment.
Okay.
And that's kind of parallel to my thoughts. And that is, remember, I've been using this word all of 2019. And I said accountability. a lot of people do stuff that they're not willing to be held accountable or don't want to be accountable for if they go sour. Sort of like the last topic we talked about, Bill Self and the Snoop Dogg situation. If you missed it, then guess what? Bill Self was on the front line of it. So Bill Self got to be willing to take the risk, to be accountable for whatever come with it, for making a decision.
Gotcha.
You know, if Snoop Dogg would have resulted in 5 top McDonald's All-Americans saying, you know what, I'm committing to University of Kansas that night on the spot. I love what you did. Snoop Dogg is my granddaddy's favorite, or my daddy's. Then guess what? Bill Self would have accepted responsibility and been accountable and saying, you know what, I'm going to pop my collar on that. I did that. Okay, well, in this situation.
I got a comment too, Jim.
What you got? Read it.
No, Stacy Houston said, he said that kid said, just like our kids in our community when they talk to each other. And he added that too comfortable. That's that. Thank you, Stacy. He said it. Stacy, you missed out the S on. He said that too comfortable, and has been allowed to say that many times before with his teammates and friends. Mexicans use the word just as much as we do, and our people. That kid should not be suspended for that. Wow. Great take. Great take.
Well, it's like this. If you have bylaws in the code of student, every district has a code of student handbook. All right. And in that code, if using that word, once again, it's a provocative word. Now, mind you, he was probably not near any of the people that he was targeting when he was saying that. It was a post game. But my thing is this: accountability. And here's the conversation I'm ready to go into, since it seemed like I think many of you guys, I'm reading the comments, seem like y'all ready right now. Here's the thing. I mentioned earlier, I gave you guys an analogy about, we was talking about the Snoop Dogg topic, and I said about females, it's so okay for a family to go on the beach. And remember, I gave you that analogy, and the woman can have a 2-piece on, and your kid can be right there in her presence. But since you're at the beach, you know, that's okay in America. Now, you try that shit in India, it ain't gonna fly. You're gonna get, but in America. Well, I think that, could it be that as grown folk, we have the power, everybody, to permit or demand that somebody that's talking reckless, or young people in your presence, to respect you with their verbiage or not? Now, what has happened is, a lot of times times have grown so risky that the discipline, the verbal discipline to some other people's kids, is not received as it was back in the day. And as a result, a lot of times as grown folk, and I have felt have felt myself in this situation as well. Whereas I'm seeing a group of young fellas, and they might be talking reckless, and guess what? Now I'm saying to myself, I'm wrestling with it, man. I need to say something. Why these dudes talking? They see I'm standing right here. And in some place, depends on where I'm at.
And what I got with me. Because these dudes crazy, man.
How I'm rolling, what I'm dressed like.
Yeah.
I've shut my damn mouth.
Yeah, I have.
And trust me. But so that means we are guilty of selectively choosing where we're going to allow it to happen, transpire at. For example, for those of you who are in defense of these young people talking reckless and saying, I ain't talking about around you, I'm talking about period, like he was off by himself. Oh, they talk like that all the time. Here's my thing. They still know better. Here's why I say they know better. Do you really think that young man, put it like this, it doesn't matter him. any one of your kids or your relatives or the kids in your circumference. Why they don't talk like that in church? I say it again. Why don't they talk like that in church?
The same way you don't do what you do out in the street in church. The same way.
You know why? Because you know better. We know better. That's my point. And I'm trying to bring to the light. It's different if a person really don't know better. Right? That's ignorance. Right?
I got
you. You got, as Joe Madison said in the quotes of Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King, conscientious stupidity and what happened?
Sincere ignorance. It's a sincere ignorance. The two most dangerous things in the world. Conscientious stupidity, so you're consciously being stupid, and sincere ignorance, you just really don't have a clue. Those are two dangerous things in the world. Martin Luther King.
And so here we go. We go back to the Boomer Room, and I like keep the comments coming.
You see what Kako Grace
screen right now. And I read it for some of you guys who probably may have your screen muted and just listen to the audio. He says, "Here's my 2 cents, my 10 cents. Coming from education and running on the sports scene, yes, this is how a lot of this generation speak. And in their minds, they don't consider it being racist. However, the use of that term is never okay, no matter who is saying it and whatever the context. We as adults have to continue to educate this generation on the history and what that means, and it's not okay, period." I like that, man. Keep it going. Here's the thing. If it's last year, might have been 2 years ago, but I think it was last year, the NFL motioned to throw flags on the grown men who used the word in the field of play. It was met by a lot of resistance. And this season, how many flags have you heard thrown in the NFL? And those referees have been horrendous. But how many flags have you heard people been penalized from using that word? Do you think that not one single player in the NFL has used that word in the field of play this season? You think they all have changed their vocabulary? You know what happened? They got the backlash and they realized that, you know what, we tried, we weren't gonna be able to enforce that. Here's my thing. Even though the NFL, those are grown men, as they are, the referees at the high school level, at the middle school level, have the power to do so if they chose to, and then it starts there. There can be a solution applied, because after so much punishment, teachers in the classroom, it can be applied. But a lot of people, arms are so tired of fighting, because that means you will never get nothing done in your lesson plan, because every other minute, there's going to be another kid saying it.
You know what's so funny? I'm sitting here. Bob just put something on the screen, and I put it on the screen. And somebody just texted me and said they love this topic. Keep it up. Bob said, should that kid that called Cade Cunningham everything under the sun in Atlanta, EYBL session, be matched or suspended? I don't think he called him the N-word, Bob, but he did talk real bad to Cade Cunningham. Jimmy, you wasn't there.
That's a kid from California.
Yeah, Jalen Green.
I wasn't there. I was at the GMI, but I've heard of it. But did he call him? Understand? And see, once again.
And every coach lined up, hold up. Every coach lined up to recruit that kid too, including Memphis. But keep going.
And still are.
Yeah.
Still are. Here's the thing. A Muslim can't pick the days he want to eat pork on.
Man, come on, man.
I mean, and it's too consistent with our inconsistencies in what we want to conveniently apply certain rules towards. As I'm saying, the accountability factor is one thing.
Right.
Young man knows,
Better.
he knows the word. And does he believe? Trust me, I understand a lot of the kids use the word so loosely that they don't even really consider it racist.
Jimmy, I don't
really
like the word. Jimmy, I don't like the word, but I find myself I've been saying it so long. Jimmy, I find myself saying it and have to catch myself because I've said it so long. It's like a wheel, like I said, been running 100 miles an hour in my life. I got to slow the wheel down first before I turn it up. I don't like the word. But I find myself saying it, and I can listen to me, and I know it's wrong. But I don't say it as much as I used to because of the climate that I'm in. But man, it'll slip out, man, sometimes, man. And I'm telling you, it'll slip out. Just like the little fella just did, it'll slip out. So,
so as a solution, guys, I was talking yesterday about this very topic with a young lady, and you got to realize, I really didn't realize how many varying opinions there are when it comes to the N-word. A lot of people are just. Here's what the young lady said to me. Say, could it be we just give the word too much power and influence over us? And I explained, I said, but you have to understand, back in our ancestors and our forefathers, that word, was used. But even back then, that word when it comes from the mouth of a white person.
Yeah, I got you.
It resonates extreme amount of power while degrading you in the process.
Great. You're right.
And understand, this is not the old days, but still when that word is said from a white person. So we have to go and find the way to dialogue to get a common ground wherever your community is.
I got a question, Jim.
What you got?
Why didn't we come up with a word for them long time ago?
We did. Fred Sanford used it.
But that one ain't good enough because they don't care about that one.
They didn't, you know what? It didn't give them the understand.
When they go low, you go lower.
No, but here's what happened. They did not allow the word to have that much power and control over their feelings. George Jefferson, if you look at the old Jeffersons, think about it. How many times he said cracker? Fred Sanford called the police officer cracker. But white people didn't allow cracker to make or break their world. And I understand it's different, but they still did not yield power to the oppressor or the deliverer of that word. If we're going to go by the rule, if by this new code and this new creed, and let the youngsters, because it's widespread now. I understand. Think about it like this. Referees. That was a game this past weekend at the Super 16 extravaganza where a kid was going up for a layup and another kid came and blocked that shot. You saw it before. The same old song, different day. No, and guess what? The kid made a good acrobatic block, and simultaneously when he landed on the ground, nobody looked over that guy and said,
"Get that out of here."
Know what the referee did?
What?
Take him up.
Okay.
You know what happened as the kids were lining up to shoot the free throws? First, it was two different layers of conversation. Number one, what'd he do? From the parents and the fans. Then the other layer was, hey, kids do that all the time. You tripping, Ralph. Those were the two most synonymous things that was laced from the stands. And I started thinking, I'm like, well, man, you know what? A lot of refs said if they called that all the time, different other refs, then the games would be 30 minutes longer. They're getting the same pay. They don't get no extra for calling a tick for you doing it. So a lot of refs, they hear stuff and just let it go and go. But still, those refs, so do you want that to happen? Do you want that to be enforced? Or are you selectively choosing the platform that you want the N-word to be enforced at? That's my point to you guys. That's what I'm asking you. You choose. You choose. And I'm looking in the boom boom room, and I see Ashley says, I say what he do. People do it all the time. But here's the thing: we can't. If you're guilty of being selective, then you need to really soul search for you try to find a solution, because these white kids are saying it now. These Hispanic kids are saying it at a greater rate than the white kids.
But they calling each other that too, Jimmy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what got me messed up.
See, here's what they do. They'll put the word "my" in front of it. My ill. Remember?
Yeah.
And that phrase was coined and personified in the scene from the Denzel Washington movie Training Day. Remember, Denzel was riding and the white guy was on the side of him. And it's a great film. If you haven't seen it before, it's a good watch. And if Denzel often through the movie, he'd look over at the guy and he'd say, my ear. So that has been so accepted. We are guilty for exposing them to the word and making them feel okay. Then we get selective when they use it. Come on, man. Which one is it? What are you going to do about it? And then, mind you now, the teammate who basically came up there in the black of this Katy football player. We had to play the clip from the video earlier in his defense, a 2-minute plus defense. And my thing was saying basically he was raised by a white family and they done so much for him. It was almost
No. He was talking about this kid's family. He was talking about this particular kid.
Talking about the quarterback family.
The quarterback, that's the one who come pick him up every day.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Basically, he said his family has a troubling, he mentioned at the top of his, everybody, a lot of people that know him knows he has a very, a very disadvantaged upbringing from his family. Basically rolled his family out there in the middle of the street. And saying this other family, kind of like reminded me of The Blind Side. And a lot of people have been through blind side type situations. But in this situation, just let me tell you something. Just because, and I'm not saying that the quarterback is or is not a racist. I don't know him, and I don't know the whole text of it. I don't know him. But if a lot of kids say he's not, then maybe he's not. Maybe he's not. However, don't come at me with this other stuff just because a white person befriends you or take care of you or brings you in, then that they're all of a sudden not, or they are immune from doing or being racist.
I got you.
That shit I'm not going to take.
I got you. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
The president of the United States of America brought Kanye. He brought Jim Brown. He brought Steve Harvey. Just to name a few. And look at him right now. At the time, guess what all three of those guys thought? Jim Brown thought, oh man, great guy, man. Steve Harvey, oh man, cool people, man. Y'all got to get to know him. Kanye went in there, man, good guy. You got to get to know him.
But I got a question though, Jimmy. These people, and you got to see another side of it now. Those guys were cool with him when he was just cool Donald Trump. The whoever he was, but he wasn't the president. Right? We didn't know this side of him. They knew that, that was their friend, go to the fights, go to Atlantic City. All of those, they used to hang out with him. So now so that's the dilemma that I got. So you telling me You got a friend right now. That's a wife. Let's say you got a wife. Yeah. It's your partner. Y'all gets it in. And all of a sudden, he become president of the United States, and everybody get to talking all reckless and get to talk. What you gonna do to him? What you gonna do? You gonna disassociate yourself with your friend? How you gonna handle it? No. How would you handle that? I'm just curious.
How you're talking to the audience, or you asking me?
I'm talking to you right now.
How would I handle it?
You had your best friend, your dude, not best friend. Y'all done hung out. Y'all done messed with girls together. Y'all done went private plane here, private plane. Y'all done been in Hugh Hefner's mansion together and everything. So then he becomes the senator or the president. And he doing all this crazy stuff that 45 is doing. How would you handle that relationship? That's all I ask.
I'm pulling back.
Okay.
I'm pulling back. That's simply what, everybody, remember, as I said a while ago, everybody has different ways and different things which they will accept or tolerate. And that's each his own.
What you mean by pulling back? Tell me what you mean by pulling back.
I'm pulling back meaning I'm backing out of the driveway from the relationship.
I'm talking about when he first got hired. When he first get hired, so you wouldn't have went up to Trump Tower and hung out with him, right? At all. You wouldn't have went up there. I'm just trying to figure it out.
No.
You wouldn't have went up there.
If I was a public figure, right, of celebrity status,
I got you.
Go and what you have to sacrifice and what's at risk. You see, and that's what a lot of people did and have done and have fell on the sword for the president that's the standing president of the United States right now. Even all the way from the top, all the way down to the bottom, where it was Omarosa. Where last time you heard about her, But the thing is, what you have, see, it's all about what are you willing to sacrifice, or what are you willing to stand while you're willing to stand for something. A lot of people want you to stand for something. They don't want to stand themselves until you've stood for an extended period of time and got some results, and then they get on up and stand. Let me go and stand on up now. And that's kind of like how a lot of things work in our society. Because once again, I understand a lot of people may have fought. They may have swung at these type of at social or economic justice issues, but they just tired of swinging.
You can't never get tired of swinging. Because guess what? If you two sides, set your little old butt down, and guess what? Let these young folks swing for us. But guess what? Somebody just texted me, and I'm just gonna read along. I saw pieces of it. They text me. I don't know why they didn't put it on the feed, but I guess I will say I will be the mouthpiece. He said, we cannot allow a word that has such a derogatory history be transformed into something less derogatory just because it's spelled differently and used exclusively among our community. It should be banned from all communications. Most people don't even know what derogatory word was used against Jewish people, because Jewish people don't allow those words to penetrate. Jimmy just said that. We should not allow any reference to it, such an N-word or ninja. Don't even say the N-word, I guess. Don't even say ninja. This negative culture conditioning has to stop. Wow.
Okay, but saying it has to stop, okay, a call to action. We just gave an example that's prevalent in our youth sports community, right? Started off by the quarterback. So if we don't want, think about it, if you're the parent, you don't want the referee to call a tech on your son for saying, get that shit out of here on a blocked shot. You're mad at the ref for doing that, but you want him to enforce Igga on the other end. So that's what I'm saying. So we have a lot of soul searching to do in order to find the solution. Right? We got to know what you're trying to get out of this. What are you trying to get out of this? What are you saying? So a lot of you just want to be the N-word police. We're gonna point out, oh, you just said it, y'all.
Yeah.
What do you want to be done? Because if that's supposed to be the most damaging and the most provocative word in the English language to black folk, then so that means if that's supposed to be the most extreme word that could be used, right? But so that means all of the profane and the cuss word and the profanity-less words, those are supposed to be lesser. You can take them all day long. So the king got down in court and, we said all the time, kids drop the F word. They drop the MF word. On the court, you guys hear it. Come on now.
Yeah.
But you hear it and you so black. Think about it.
So Jimmy, okay, I'm on the sideline the other day, yesterday at your event. And I heard the dude curse. So I supposed to come on the floor and stop the dude? That ain't my job. Hey, hold on, Jimmy. Hold on, I'm glad we stopped. No, hold on. Jimmy, I got to stop and have a public service announcement right now. Because guess what happened to me 3 times over the weekend at your tournament? Hey, man, you got to do something about these referees. I'm going to repeat that, Jimmy. 3 times. They said, I got to do something about a referee that I have no control over. I said, man, you on the show with him, so I said, this is Jimmy's event. And parents, listen, parents, tell your friends, I don't rank no kids, I don't give events. So I wasn't mad at you, but they said it 3 times, Jimmy, like, man, you got to do something about these referees.
Well, I got something for that. Now I'll tell you one thing. I got a solution for you guys. Every event, the referees' names are not first class, top secret information. Referee's name is out there. Matter of fact, I make referees go and sign my score sheet. If they don't sign the score sheet, they don't get paid. They get paid by the amount of time they sign my score sheet. Same for my bookkeeper or the clock keeper. Here's my point. The vast majority of the officials that refereed at the Super 16 extravaganza, if you guys may have noticed, I had 3 referees per court. There's only been one grassroots event in the greater Houston, or I say grassroots, non-scholastic event that has had 3 referees on the court in Houston, Texas during 2019. And know what it was? The Gasso. I had 3 referees per court. That means it costs more. Now, each one of those referees, the vast majority, what I do know, that they were deemed of the highest status of the referee, not the highest, but they got different stars, like they give different levels for referees. The vast majority of the referees that officiated were considered and classified as the highest of the referees in the city. That means there are others that didn't come out, maybe the same level of highs. So I didn't get middle school referees. A lot of guys that officiated actually are college referees as well. My thing is with officials, guys, didn't you just see referees mess up in the NFL?
Yes, sir.
Not one week, every week. And those guys get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. What I'm saying is those guys, guess what? That's why they're getting their work in, so they can get better.
Okay. No, but I wasn't talking about the refs. I'm just talking about people messing with me.
And you think I'm joking? If you go and you look at the faces, some of you parents, take pictures of the referees. Take pictures of them. That way you can remember them. Right now, again, that's a solution for y'all. Because one thing that I'm going to make sure that I do, I make sure I provide quality referees. Now, guess what? Are some of them dudes horrible? They could be, once again, it goes up under that racist term a while ago. You got some good white folk that can say that word one time, but they know the black folk gonna come say, man, old Mr. Jenkins, he's still good people. Man, don't y'all leave him alone. He ain't racist. Well, so, same ain't referee. Be a good referee, make a bad call one time. You guys gonna give him a life sentence. He gonna get a life sentence from y'all. You gonna say, man, he's awful. Could have been a great guy yesterday. Made the right call. But that's how referees are. So my thing is, let me tell you what I did. You guys, how do you know it from my last event? I'm the only person that I know that put a weight restriction on my ref. You can sue my ass if you want to, but you ain't coming referee in my games if you're weighing over 250 pounds. Get your ass in shape. If I'm paying you $25 a game per person.
I think I'm going to start reffing, Jimmy.
That's stealing. That's
I'm going to start stealing because I can't be no worse than some of us. So I'm going to go get me one of them tight shirts and get me one of them outfits. I'm in there, baby. Y'all can cuss me out all you want to. I'm going to get that 25.
I mean, so that's
hey,
the thing.
Jimmy, hold on. What do I have to do to get that patch on my shoulder? What I got to do to get that patch on my shoulder?
Well, you got to be part of one of the association. They have the Houston area chapter referees, and they have the Gulf Coast chapter. They have different chapters.
Can I start my own chapter?
You gonna make your own chapter?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we do. That's just what we do. As they hit that prejudice, they're gonna sue you. Let me tell you what. Referees don't have a union.
Okay.
They're contract employees.
Okay.
They can't sue shit. That's what I'm pointing here. They contract. Freight know it. That's why so many of them can be divided.
Hey, man. Hey, just tell me where I can go get me one of them shirts. I got some black pants. Tell me where I can get me some one of them shirts.
Foot Locker.
No, they don't sell them at Foot Locker. They
Get
don't
you
sell
one.
them at Foot Locker.
Tell you want a job. Tell you want a job, fill the application, and then go and get the shirt.
Man,
and don't go
I'm
back.
gonna come up in that joint, boy, belly all out like they do. Hey, no, I ain't gonna talk about the ref. I love the ref.
And I love this. That's what I'm saying. That's what I love about selective and people. Ashley, let me tell you something. We had a situation this year where the referee was on a taped phone call, calling the other referees niggers repeatedly. They didn't do nothing to them.
Joe didn't. Hey, Jimmy.
Trust me.
Hey, Corey Willis, man, something wrong with him, man. I'm finna post this comment on the thing. Something wrong with Corey, man.
Hey,
Corey said,
guys, you know what? I'm looking at the clock, man. We had so much fun today, guys.
Yeah,
if you just tune in to Chop Shop, want to give you guys a reminder that this new platform. Tell us what you think about it. Do you like the new digital platform that we launched on Chop Shop? There are so many things that we can do with this platform. And is it a way you can put a flyer on the screen? Show them something. Show them Papa Willie one time. Don't just ride your bike.
Let me show you something. Let me show you something that happened last night. Let me click on something that just happened last night.
Occurred on the hardwood. You know how we feel about Taco Fall. Love Taco. We've been fans of Taco Fall since he got to UCF. The NCAA tried to screw him, and they didn't think he was as smart as he is, but he is smart, and everybody in Boston loves the guy. They want tacos. Here comes Taco. Look, it's preseason. They don't care. They're cheering like it's the playoffs in the spring. Go ahead, Taco.
All right, let's go out of that one. Hold on.
Tremont Waters.
Let's go out of that. I got something else. I wanted to show you last night. What did I do? Keep talking, Jimmy. Jimmy, you remember?
That's Taco Fall, man. I'm just really listening.
Yes, sir. Jimmy, get your racket ball out of the way. I don't want your ball over here.
Oh, got the Chop Shop.
Yes, sir.
Chop Shop.
Y'all see that baby? Oh.
So, I mean, we can just do all kind of crazy stuff with this thing, man. I'm having so much fun with it. it just, I mean, like I said, we just playing around with some stuff right now, but we're gonna perfect this thing. Jimmy, you missed this one. I put your young fellas on the screen. Did you see that? I put the Super 16 winners, their picture of them. I put them on the screen.
Oh man, that's a great thing, and that's those are guys who are looking right now. Those are Beaumont United High School. They captured first place, went 6-0 over the weekend to win the Super 16 Fall High School Championship. That's a great thing. I mentioned at the top of the show. You guys can go back and watch it. A great story because guys know we're only 2 weeks removed from being in Beaumont. Or was it 3 weeks ago, Had? Was it 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
Man, times fly. We having fun.
Yeah, we went down there. Of course, Tyrone Irving and his efforts and the American Black Cross as well. We took an 18-wheeler of goodies of disaster relief to Beaumont, and fitting enough, the high school team who has yet to resume and occupy their own school building, they are still out of school. These kids are still schoolless. They're not scheduled to return to classes until October the 14th. They came and still weathered the storm, pun intended, to win the Super 16 extravaganza. And also had meanwhile, can you go into the email box? We have a video real quick we want to close out with, and that video is going to be a highlight from the showdown between L.J. Cryer and Tremont Mark. Somebody sent the video. Let me know they sent the video, a clip, especially for the Chop Shop, to entertain you guys with some of the highlights from that Dickinson Martin Ranch showdown.
Keep talking while I try to find it.
On Friday morning at Yates High School. And I definitely want to thank all you guys for having the courage to engage in a lot of the conversations that we are the topics that we bring up on the Chop Shop. A lot of shows are restricted and will not do so. They won't dare interact and engage in some of these conversations. But guess what? We must have them more. Because, in other words, to be able to huddle up and be able to see the different, all of us don't think alike when it comes to race relations. You guys got to understand something. And this is going in different territory. My grandmother on my daddy's side was white. My daddy was a half-breed. And so growing up, when I was a little boy, they tell me stories. Hell, I thought I'm the only one of my mother's kids that have the black hair. You know, I'm only the good hair. I don't have the good hair. But I can tell I was only about 3 humps away from a good swirl, because when barbers go cut my hair, the way that my swirls are, it's kind of funny how my hair swirls in the movement. It ain't the regular cut. Guys tell me all the time. I went to a new barber last week. He was like, man, it's kind of, when we cut it with the, I said, no, you cut it like you normally cut it, man. I wear a hat every day anyway. So understand, nobody gave us the manual that we all vowed to follow when it comes to race relations. We know how to scream it when it's applied against us. But if you want to go and continue practicing selective platforms from which you will allow it, then only you are to blame. It starts in the household. If you letting your kids talk like crazy in the household, then guess what they're going to do? Or hear you talk like crazy now, guess what they're going to do when they go out? They're going to imitate what they idolize. Girls idolize their moms. Little boys idolize their dads. If they see you pouring a drink every day, guess what he gonna want to do? He gonna want to pour him a drink just to see, because it looks cool the way you hold your glass, or smoke your cigarette, or fire up your joint, or cuss like a sailor. Guess what? Come on, guys. You think I'm joking? So it's something to think about. And meanwhile, hell, you got the clip up? You got it ready?
No, I'm keep on talking. I'm gonna get it there in a minute, y'all. You gotta understand, this is a big clip. So yeah, it's coming. Keep on talking. But you gotta look what Michelle said about you. Said, Jimmy, you talking about half breed? Come on, man, we gotta do better.
We definitely got. I mean, and that's the whole thing. That's what your solution is. See, because that's different territory. Remember, I never had biologically. And of course, he's number 4 in the white.
Jim, okay, you talk in the background. Now you can talk, Jimmy.
Yeah, and so that's action from the Super 16 extravaganza that was held this past weekend at Yates High School. You guys can see it was a nice festive atmosphere at Yates High School, and we'll talk more about it on tomorrow. We have recaps that'll be posted on rcssports.com. Some is already on there. Go to the front, you see the line scores, the VIP news. So you guys got to subscribe to go to that. But this was a great weekend of high school basketball. And now the ironic thing, Martin Ranch and Dickinson will play again on Wednesday, November the 27th at the Who's Giving Classic. The championship game, ironically, was Beaumont United and Dickinson, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. Tremont Mark didn't play the championship game. Beaumont United won by 242-40. But guess what? Those same two teams will meet in the season opener. And how does we get up out of here? We give them that season opener commercial one more time so they can see one of our new amenities on the Chop Shop. And we thank, once again, we want you guys to spread the word for the Chop Shop. We're only going to get better.
Mark your calendars for Saturday, November the 16th at the M.O. Campbell Center located in Houston, Texas. That's the RCS Sports season opener. A day filled of high school boys basketball starting at 9:30 a.m. when Aldine Nimitz takes on Houston Christian, followed by Aldine Davis versus Sam Houston. Langham Creek will take on Summer Creek. Westbury Christian versus Port Arthur Memorial. How about Dickinson versus Beaumont United? That's a rematch of the Super 16 Extravaganza Championship game. Martin Ranch will take on Jack Yates at 5 p.m., followed by Hightower versus Cypress Creek. And the finale, Shadow Creek versus Episcopal at 8 p.m. That's the RCS Sports season opener, powered by Boost Mobile. A limited amount of $5 tickets are on sale now at all participating schools. That's the season opener on Saturday, November the 16th.
Yes, sir.
Well, man, hey, man, once again, guys, thanks for tuning to the Chop Shop, man. And guess what? You notice on purpose, Chris Walker left out of here halfway through the show. And you guys know we did not get to do our NFL recruit. We'll do it on tomorrow. We're doing tomorrow.
Well, who you got tonight? I'll pick for Chris tonight. Who you got tonight? Who can pick first?
Adam.
What? You beat him so bad it don't matter tonight.
It don't even matter tonight.
Okay. All right.
It don't even matter tonight. It don't even matter tonight.
Hey, y'all, thank y'all so much for being patient with me. We're working on this new system, man. It's fine. We're going to do so. I got some more stuff. I just got to learn it. Hold up. I got to bring Jimmy up to speed so he can do it, so we can do it back and forth. So we got it covered. Hey, I'm out, Jimmy. You got anything? Hold up, Jimmy. Let me. I'm gonna send him out with the Chop Shop song. Hold up, let me find.
There you go, baby. There you go. With
the Chop Shop song.
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop, we live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop, we live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop.